Hey guys, welcome back to the course. So in this lecture, we're going to cover some of the myths about entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship. There's a lot of nasty rumors that float around, and there's a lot of weird ideas that people come up with regards to starting your own business, and I'm here to dispel that. In order to start down your journey, you really need to figure out what exactly is true about entrepreneurship and what is just kind of a folktale. So myth number one, you're born an entrepreneur, and if you're not born one, then you can't do it. Well, that one is an outright myth. That's not true at all. We have plenty of examples all over the world of people who did nothing entrepreneurial up until their 30s, 40s, or even 50s, turned around, started their own business, and became very successful, and we know them today. It is the case that some entrepreneurs we know had these tendencies really early on, but these typically get exaggerated because when you hear stories about them, they'll like to highlight those things. They like to talk about when I was a kid, I did this and this and that, because it makes a very nice story, it makes a very nice narrative, and the media is part of this problem. The second myth is that you have to have a ton of talent or be really, really smart to start your own business. That's a big myth, and the longer you think like that, the longer you're going to be doing yourself a disservice. Yes, it is true that we've had very, very smart entrepreneurs, and it's also true that we've had very talented ones, but we've also had quite a few ones that were not particularly talented and were quite dumb. From my personal experience, I don't have enough fingers to count how many entrepreneurs I know who are successful but are not very intelligent. There are a couple of things that matter much more than being smart or being quote-unquote talented. One of the biggest reasons some people are successful and some are not is perseverance, and it's work ethic. So perseverance, the reason why that's incredibly important is that entrepreneurs fail all the time. A lot of the things they're trying to do are very risky, and as a natural consequence of that, they fail quite often. Give you a great example. Have you ever played the game Angry Birds? Angry Birds is that game on your iPhone where you shoot birds at pigs. Pretty much everybody in the world has done it. It's a multi-billion-dollar game, but what you don't know is that the company Roxio actually had 24 apps before that were complete failures. If Roxio hadn't continued to try and try and try again, they wouldn't all be billionaires on yachts, popping champagne and burning money like it's nothing. I'm getting depressed. Work ethic is another thing. Being an entrepreneur takes really hard hours. Confidence is another thing. It's very hard to do something that's out there, convince people to follow you along and get no pay or little pay and to listen to crazy ideas if you're not confident. Those three things, much, much more important than talent and book smarts. In reality, most successful entrepreneurs just act as the glue to other smart, talented people. They're typically people that can coordinate. They're kind of like the conductor of the orchestra. They can get people to participate in ways that they know they'll do well at, and they can bring in people who are talented and smart to figure out problems. So really, you don't have to be smart and talented. You just have to be able to spot smartness and talent. The other two myths are you need to have a ton of money and you need to be really, really lucky. So the first one, ton of money, that's not necessarily true. We have tons and tons of examples of entrepreneurs that started with exactly nothing. If you look at the story of Sam Walton, the man who started Walmart, he was dirt poor. He started from nothing and just snowballed everything he did till he bought his first store, then his second, then his third. And now I believe they have 50,000 stores, something like that. It's gotten a little ridiculous. 1 out of 3 Americans per week shops at a Walmart. The other one is that you have to be lucky. Well, luck is part of it. Brilliant entrepreneurs often have ideas and they go at the wrong time, or something goes wrong, the stock market crashes, and you could consider that unlucky. But in general, entrepreneurs make their own luck. Why? Because they're perseverant. They keep trying, and eventually it goes through. Typically, when you look at someone who's successful, you don't see how many times they failed and how many times they got back up. All you see is the success. Hopefully we dispelled some of those myths. If you guys have questions, concerns, post in the group discussion. Otherwise, we're rolling on to the next lecture.